Hey guys, Rob from the Off Grid Tiny House. So I got all the wiring pulled through the entertainment stand here, this hole, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to run this wiring, new wiring through the walls? So obviously can't go through here. It's foam sealed to the wall. So I think I'm just going to run everything up above this cavity and then come back down and behind each 2x4 because there's enough space to get there. So if I run all the wires just above the window here, I think that's the goal, and go from there. So the first one that's actually ready to run is the cable TV connection. Well, it's not cable TV, but it's aerial, digital, free. So I'm thinking about dropping a 2x4 on here onto the studs just for now. Now they're not all cut off at the same height, I don't think. Does not look like it whatsoever. Be impossible to, yeah, it's definitely not. So I think I'm gonna have to put a 2x4 up there just to stabilize the studs, right? And then I'll figure out what the hell is going to go on up here. Maybe I'll just use this new cavity as my cable run. Hard to say. As long as I don't see any wires. There shouldn't be any showing wires now, guys. It's either going to go behind the walls here, or I'm going to use this as a chase all the way back to, you know, the other side of the tiny house. I think that's the way to go. Now that this area is down, and once the 2x4 is up here, ceiling height wise, it's not bad for me. And then I'll figure out something later. I think I just want to get a 2x4 back on here, stabilize this, start running wires back to the entertainment setup, and at least that is kind of half-assed done, because this area is now fully sealed to the door. From the door back to the bedroom here, basically, is fully sealed, so no issues. We did get a little more rain, and obviously I don't see anything going on, which is always good. So yeah, I'm just gonna see what I can do. Slap a 2x4 up here. I might have to do some cutting, like it looks like, and then I'll start running wire. Now I'm gonna use 14-2 wire, guys, which is I believe they have this in the States as well. Normally, whatever we have here in Canada, they have in the States. So 14-2 is just household wiring, and I'm gonna be using that to run most of my loads, even the 12-volt loads. So I'm gonna have maybe four receptacles for AC at the other end of the tiny house, and then back here I don't need any because I have, well, I may add some somewhere down the line, but I mostly use the strip back here for those. And that's going to be a big upgrade from all the crappy wiring I was using, because I had voltage drop issues going on. Stu High-Tech I-18 was pointing that out. Now he also, Stu recommended chlorine rubber, which is like some type of epoxy pool resin sealer for the rivets outside. So what I think I'm going to do, I looked online, the cheapest one I can get is in a 1-gallon bucket. I went around to, I called around to the pool places around. They do not have them in 5-gallon buckets, which is, I find unusual, because that's what they do at their day job. Or maybe they don't sell it or never use it, I don't know. So I'm kind of stuck on the pricing for that stuff, and you know, I'm in Canada, we don't have a lot of variety of building materials and stuff. I don't know what kind of censorship it is, but it's censorship. Anyways, I think I figured out what I'm gonna do. That Eternal Bond tape I think I'm gonna buy a roll of that stuff again and put it the 3-inch wide stuff and just cover over the rivets with it. That's the really sticky tape that is still stuck to my roof to this day from my original solar panels that I placed up there. And this stuff is so sticky, it's basically used as roof repair, permanently roof repair patching. So if I plaster a nice wide strip over all the rivets that run along this side on the outside, that will stop the UV damage from coming in and deteriorating the Rocker Garden Flex Seal I put on out there. So I'm going to do that. I think that's going to shed rain, that's going to shed UV, so we're not going to have a bunch of issues going forward. And I think that's a nice permanent fix for a while. It's not going to be permanent because I'm sure the UV eventually will eat through, but by then, you know, it's going to be a while. So yeah, so outside I think I have one good 2x4 to run across up here and go to town. So I'm gonna go find one. Now everybody's gonna say, well, why didn't you just cut all of them at the same height? Well, if you saw what was going on, guys, at the time, I was in a mad dash to get in there, so I couldn't really take my time and measure each stud off and blah blah blah. So not too worried about it, really, not at all. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. I'll bring a 2x4 in, see how badly it's off, and we'll go from there. Hey guys, Rob from the Off Grid Tiny House. Current temperature in here 28.1 Celsius plus humidity. Oh, brutal. I don't have this on right now because all my electrical wires are on the floor and they're all going. So I'm going to redo it with the proper stuff. So, I've been a busy boy. I cut down the studs. 2 of them I cheated on. I just put scrap pieces in, as you can see there. Sorry about my camera skills here, guys, but the viewfinder on this camera is now screwed. I'm looking at an upside down picture, so it's really difficult to focus in on stuff now. So anyways, I cut the studs down mostly except for those 2 parts. Took my scrap 2x4s that are clean and dry, no mold touched these ones whatsoever, put them across. Now this isn't going to be the ceiling height, guys. This is just basically the stud wall, and then I'll have to fill in insulation and everything else and so forth. But we're going to run all our electrical wires in behind. There's enough space, plenty of space in behind these studs, and then what I'll do is I'll put like spacers or something so the wall doesn't do this ever. So we'll fasten it so it's secure, but first I want to run in all my wiring in behind, and that way we're not going to have issues, and we know where the screws are going and everything, and thus far, can't even talk, thus far. And then this cavity up here, I basically made a cavity, right? If I want to, I can still build off of it and then put a ceiling across if I want to do that. But for now, I think this is going to act as a nice chase for a lot of my electrical that goes back to the other side of the tiny house, the far end, which will be 100. There'll be some 12 volt, but mostly 120 volt connections. So right off the inverter. So we're going to run those all the way back there. I got to continue on cutting studs and continue stripping, and go on from there. But at this point, I can now think about running some proper wiring for this mess that I'm going to dismantle here next. That's pretty much it for the wall work today, because I want to get all the electrical dismantled and rewired and ran through the wall before I continue on. That way I can at least have some stuff up and running here. I'm out of my lithium packs are running dry. Like, these are all the dead ones. I have one back here running a fan continuous on my my wire here that's pretty darn hot. The fan is helping though. And there's the solar coming in. I'm running the inverter. I'm not running the air conditioning, though I should close things up, but I've been doing a lot of cutting with the saws, and I'm charging my Sawzall lithium battery there. So I had all the windows open for the majority of the day so far. It's just the way it is for work, and I may close things up and turn the air on coming up here shortly as I work on the electrical. And I think I can handle that now that I have a fan blowing across that wire, because when I get the air on, guys, it like jumps up to like 50 plus amps coming into that charge controller, and that charge controller is only rated for 60 max. So it's full boogie off the 2 solar panels on the roof, which is amazing. The amount of power that thing pushes, they push up there. Neon, LG bifacial neon panels, 380 watts a piece, wired in series. So just under a kilowatt of juice powering the tiny house, and it's more than ample right now. The only thing I'm going to do is increase the battery bank here coming up, and you guys know that. So this battery pack running this USB fan is at half charge. So yeah, I think I'm going to whip the air on. The dust has pretty much settled. I'm covered in it. Ugh. Yeah, and so I'm going to continue on here, guys. So far, so good. I didn't film any of this. It was just me chopping and cutting. Now, like I said, guys, this is not the ceiling height. I'm just going to have a surface to mount walls to, and insulation, and run my wiring. And then if I want to build like a cavity in here just for access later for servicing wires and such, I think that would be smart. Just as a chase that I can pull a couple screws out of, or a couple panels, pull them out, go from there. And then I can always add a ceiling across here at some other point until, you know, we know everything's secured with the fixes, you know. That way I can get to the fixes and get to my wiring and service all in one chase area. I think that may be pretty sweet, and I'll probably do it on this side as well. Have a chase all the way down so I can observe the rivet holes, observe any wires that I'm going to run this way, because I'm going to run some on this side as well, and observe any damage or foam, and that way I have access instead of ripping the entire tiny house apart in the future, which I shouldn't never have to after this fix if everything's sealed up well. At least I have access in the future if anything extreme happens, and we're praying that that doesn't happen. Now, like I said, I'm going to do more work on the outside to seal those rivets more permanently, because the UV light, Stu's telling me, is going to break down that rubber and we're going to have leaks again. But UV light ain't getting in here. If so, very little and not concentrated. So this will be eventually covered up anyways, so it's sealed here. I'm definitely going to seal the outside, guys. Don't panic. Baby steps here at the tiny house, especially with the budget and the income I'm getting from YouTube and Patreon. It's very tight for me to do stuff, but I'm able to. I'm pretty good with using what's on hand, and also pretty good cheapskate. Frugal is the proper term, I guess. But we're getting there. We're gonna try to keep on trucking here and get the tiny house going. Like I said, the only thing I really had to buy was I bought $27 worth of rocker guard, which is 2 cans, and then the foam I'm actually getting for free, and it's $4 for one of those large cans. One more of those large cans will probably finish the rest of the tiny house off, guys. Any of the gaps, unless there's some more gaps that weren't properly sprayed by the company from day one. Then I'll need probably 2 cans. But whatever, $8 more, guys, it's worth it. That'll come out of the Patreon money. No issues. $4 a can is very cheap and very good for those large spray foam cans with the gun. And it's high. The stuff I'm using is high density, closed cell, not open cell. So it's exactly like this stuff, though only just on, you know, not commercial grade. But the stuff I have that I switched over from now is this yellow stuff was for windows and gaps, windows, doors, and gaps. So it has a little bit of flex. It's closed cell, waterproof, all that nonsense. But the newer stuff is white in color, and it's 4 times more density than this stuff. So is what it is. I poured lots to this, and it looked like it sealed and cured really well, especially with the temperatures I did it in. So I picked the perfect time to do all that sealing indoors. And there's really no off-gassing smell now at all. Everything's kind of cured up and sealed tight. That's the main thing. So, gonna get back to it, guys. See you in a bit.